Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Talking Cardboard. My name is Cory, and in today's episode, I am going through 5 board games that I am on the fence about. I don't know whether or not to just buy these games to give them a shot, or if I should try them before I buy them. So make sure you leave comments in the comment section below on if you've tried any of these 5 games yourself, and if they're worth buying. Definitely let me know, and as always, if you enjoy the content here on the channel, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Well, let's get right into it. All right, and the number 5 game on my list here is the game that just won the Spiel des Jahres award this year, and that is SkyTeam. SkyTeam, why am I on the fence about it? If it won the Spiel, if it looks like a lot of fun, if a lot of other people on the internet are saying how much fun the game is, obviously if it won the Spiel des Jahres award, it's getting a lot of buzz and a lot of copies of it are being purchased, so why am I hesitant on that? Well, a few things are, it is 2-player only. 2-player only games are a little bit difficult to get to the table now, especially with my wife and I. We have 2 young kids, 5 years old, 2 years old, and then when it comes to my gaming group, I'm typically getting together with more than 2 gamers at a time. So I just don't really know if 2-player only games are really going to do it for me at the moment. Another thing that I'm on the fence about is that it is dice placement without talking. So I don't know how well that would really work. I mean, I guess it kind of sort of makes sense with mechanically, with making the game a little bit more challenging, and it's a little bit more of a puzzle, being that you can't talk with your co-pilot and the pilot back and forth. Thematically, I don't see why you can't talk to one another, but I understand from a game mechanism standpoint why that would be a little bit more challenging and add a little bit more of a puzzle and a strategy to the game itself. So that is a little bit difficult for me to wrap my head around as well. And then the third thing is just, it doesn't look like this game has a lot of replayability. I can't imagine that after you've cracked the puzzle once that you'd want to go back into the game and try it again and try to essentially be successful at the game again if you've already completed it once. So I just don't really see a ton of replayability with SkyTeam. If I'm wrong, again, leave comments in the comment section below on your experience with replayability with this game, but for me, I just can't really see where that replayability comes into play. I know that there was just an expansion announced for SkyTeam that will add some more things to the game and maybe add some more to that replayability side of things, but as a base game, I can't see SkyTeam being very replayable. So those are a few reasons why SkyTeam is on the fence for me. All right, my number 4 game on the list is a solo player only game. And again, for the same reasons why SkyTeam might not hit the table, it being only 2-player, I can't see me getting a single player only game to the table very often either. This game came out back in 2021 and I've only been hearing great things about it, but I still have not purchased it for just being a single player game only, and that is Final Girl. Final Girl, it looks awesome. The horror theme, the horror movie theme, the fact that you can buy different scenarios and integrate it into the game system seems so cool. But, you know, again, one of the reasons I'm on the fence about it is that it is a solo player only game. The other thing with Final Girl that I'm on the fence about is that you are rolling dice for successes. And typically I don't really like the luck factor in that, so that's a little bit of a turnoff for me as well. And then the third and final thing that I'm on the fence about with Final Girl is that I hear a lot of the scenarios are duds and just fall completely flat. And I know there are other videos on YouTube explaining which scenarios are best or which scenarios are better than other scenarios and which ones you should buy or pass on. But, you know, again, that takes a lot of research and it takes a lot of reading between the lines on which scenarios I might enjoy versus what other people might enjoy, and just the fact that it is a plug and play system, I'm afraid that I might buy 1 or 2 scenarios that just fall completely flat for me, and it's just a waste of money at that point. So, and I know you can buy the entire season 1 and then maybe now season 2 of Final Girl, and that has an expensive price tag on it. So it is appealing for me to get all of it in one big box, especially would look nice on the game shelf on display for that reason as well. But the fact that not all scenarios are that great really kind of turned me off from this game. So that is the reason why I am on the fence about Final Girl. All right, to my number 3 game on the list is an older title. It is 10 years old at this point. This game came out in 2014. It is a worker placement game. It is one of the very first app integrated games that ever hit the market. And I've been on the fence about it ever since it first came out for the last 10 years here, and that is Alchemists. In Alchemist, it's a worker placement game. You're trying to put different ingredients and potions together to try to get the correct formula of ingredients to win the game. And the app integration, I hear, is awesome. It tells you if you're on the right track or if you've collected the right ingredients to put into the potion, and seeing if you're successful or not successful in making these certain potions. But I am on the fence, I guess, for the first reason I'm on the fence about Alchemist is that it is app integrated. And if the app ever becomes unsupported and it's just no longer available, I'm not really a huge fan of that. And I know one player can sit out for the entire game and run essentially behind the scenes or behind a player screen, essentially what the app does. So one player can run that. So it doesn't have to be 100% dependent on the app, but I know that the app really streamlines and really puts this game into its full effect or full fruition on how the game is meant to be played. So the first thing with that is really the app integration. And then the fact that it's just kind of simple set collection and just kind of, it just seems like you're trying to just guess at which ingredients will work best with which potions, and there's just a lot of nuance with that, so I just don't know exactly how fun that would be. It doesn't sound like a whole ton of fun on the surface, but I've, set aside from that, I've heard great things about Alchemists. So it's one I've been wanting to give a try for the last 10 years now. Nobody I know owns the game, and I haven't pulled the trigger on purchasing the game myself yet. But with all these games on the list here, again, leave comments below if you own Alchemists and if it's worth me finding a secondhand copy of it for myself. All right, to my number 2 game on the list is a huge game, a huge epic space Euro game that just came out last year in 2023. And ever since its release was talked about and ever since I've seen some of the gameplay of it, I've really wanted to get my hands on it. But I just have not yet really come to the point where I feel like I want to spend the money on it quite yet, and that game is Voidfall. Voidfall, like I said, it is a Euro game, but it's kind of got that 4X space feel to it. And I guess one of the first reasons I am on the fence about this game is I heard it has a really complex rules set. It's very difficult to not only learn the game, but to get all the rules played correctly for the first couple plays. And then also that comes with that is if you have the game on the shelf for a couple months and you bring it back out to the table and have to relearn that rule set over again, I just feel like that might be kind of overbearing to try to play all the rules correctly every time it hits the table. And then again, you have to have a game group that's willing to relearn that full set of rules each and every time you bring it to the table, and that can be a hard ask 99% of the time. So that is the first reason I am on the fence about Voidfall. Another reason I am on the fence about this game is that yes, it's heavy, but with that comes a long run time of gameplay. This game takes a long time to get played, and as we all know, the longer the length of the game is, the harder it is to table as well, because you only have so many hours in a night to play games. Yes, it could be the game of the night where you play the entire night just with Voidfall, and then you go home, but typically when my game group gets together, we are looking to get more than one game to the table in a single evening, and that might be kind of a hard ask. Again, along with trying to remember the rule set each and every time and trying to play each and every one of the rules correctly every single time with that extended game length is a very difficult ask, I think, for most players to want to sit through in a game session. So those are the reasons I am still on the fence about Voidfall. All right, and the number 1 game that I am still on the fence about is another really heavy Euro game. And it's a game I've had my eye on since 2017. That's when the game came out. It came out now about 6 or 7 years ago. And I've literally had the game in my hand off store shelves, ready to bring it to the counter to purchase the game, and then gone back and put it back on the shelf because I just can't find that wherewithal within me to purchase the game, knowing that it might never get played. And that game is Anachrony. Anachrony, like I said, it is a heavy Euro game with a really cool theme behind it where there's time travel involved. There's mech suits and time traveling and borrowing resources from yourself from the future to then help you with the present day, but then you have to pay yourself back in the future. Otherwise, you get some negative points with that. And just the whole time travel thing with mech suits and worker placement and the Euro mechanisms involved in this game looks so grandiose and awesome and epic to play. But similarly with Voidfall, I think Anachrony might be very difficult to get to the table for that reason. The rules are complex, there's a lot going on, the game takes quite a while to play. Those are all reasons why, Anachrony has found its way back to the store shelf and not within my collection. And the last reason I'm on the fence about Anachrony is simply I just own way too many heavy Euros as it is. I mean, I have a handful of Vita Lacerda games and other heavy Euros, the new Age of Innovation Terra Mystica game that I have not got to the table yet either, and just a handful of these heavy Euros that just don't seem to get play or don't seem to get tabled. I already have a lot of those in my collection, so if I add another one of those to my collection in Anachrony, I just can't see the reason why that would hit the table over some of the other games I have. But again, I've heard great things about Anachrony. I've heard fantastic ratings on it. And again, if you own Anachrony or if you've played Anachrony, leave it in the comments below so then maybe you'll persuade me to go out and actually get a copy of this once and for all. So that's my number one game I'm on the fence about, Anachrony. So that does it for today's list of the 5 games I am most on the fence about. Should I just go out and buy them or should I try them before I buy them? Again, leave in the comment section below on what you all think I should do with these 5 games because I've heard fantastic things about each and every one of these games. But for some reason or another, or the reasons I listed earlier in the video at least, are the reasons I have not found it within myself to purchase these games myself quite yet. So maybe I will here in the near future. We'll see what the future holds here. I know there's some great awesome looking titles coming out at Gen Con right now too that I want to get my hands on, but these are the 5 games that have already been previously released that I've been looking to purchase now for some of them for years and years. So it's been years in the making. We'll see what happens. Again, if you like the content you see here on the channel, feel free to subscribe. We really appreciate it. Have a great day, and as always, have fun gaming.